Subscribe to the MotorBeam channel, click on the bell icon and hit that like button.
Hi guys and welcome to MotorBeam. The Scorpio is a very popular car from Mahindra. In fact, it is one of its top selling SUVs and also one of the most selling SUVs in this price range. In fact, the Scorpio was given a generation update not too long back and now Mahindra has given it a facelift along with more power. Let's see what are the changes. Up front, the Mahindra Scorpio gets subtle tweaks which makes it look more attractive. For starters, it gets a new 7-slotted grille up front, which by the way will remind you of Jeep cars. In fact, 7-slotted grilles are a trademark of the Jeep brand and this one does look a sort of a rip-off. There are also tweaks to the bumper, the skid plate and also the fog lamp housing. Mahindra has also made minor tweaks to the projector headlights, and the rear view mirrors now get side indicators. Other than that, there are no changes to the side of this vehicle. It continues with the same 5-spoke alloy wheels which we really like. At the rear, Mahindra has made a lot of changes. It gets new tail lights, the app leak has been removed and the design feels much more cleaner now. On the interior front, Mahindra hasn't made many changes, but the Scorpio is now available with the new S11 variant which is now the top of the line. It gets much more equipment on offer and gets this fox leather upholstery which is finished in dark grey and also gets this blue fabric treatment on the seat as well as on the door pads. The fox leather finishing is also carried on to the gear lever as well as the steering wheel. Even though the Scorpio gives you a good view of what's around and has a very commanding driving position, unfortunately, it's an ergonomic disaster because there's simply not enough space to keep anything in the doors. In fact, the front doors can't even hold a half-liter bottle. Meanwhile, if you want to adjust your seat, you have to open the door. However, Mahindra has added a cubby hole near the gear lever and this car also gets a sunglass holder near the inside rear view mirror. The S11 variant also gets more features such as the reverse camera now gets guidance lines which is very nifty when parking this huge vehicle. Other new features include the power window which will automatically roll up if you turn off the car. This car's power windows can also be operated after you turn off the car for some time. This facelift was the perfect opportunity for Mahindra to update its infotainment system with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Unfortunately, it gets neither. The other problem with this car is the fit and finish levels which is very poor. Rest of the things remain the same. The rear seat has decent amount of space, but the ride quality at the rear is quite stiff and bouncy and uncomfortable. The third row gets 2 jump seats which again isn't comfortable for long journeys. The Scorpio is quite a loaded car. It continues with all the features which were present previously, which means it still gets rain sensing wipers, automatic headlights, projector headlights with cornering function and even a tire pressure monitoring system. But it does have this irritating voice assist which will remind you that your handbrake is up or you have not fastened your seatbelt. Honestly, you really don't need that.
Careful, your handbrake is engaged. Do wear your seatbelts for a safe drive. Careful, one of the doors is open. Please check.
If you have driven the old Scorpio, you would know that it has very good low end punch, very peppy performance and excellent in the city. But many people found out that highway performance wasn't that great, and around the mid-range it started to lose steam. Now what Mahindra has done has given this 2.2 litre diesel mill additional power, that's 20 bhp more and 40 Newton meters additional. This results in this car becoming quite fast. In fact, this is how it goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. As you just saw, that the motor feels very punchy. There's a wide torque band. Right from 1500 to 3500 rpm, this car continues to pull hard and strong. NVH levels are also decent lower down, but as you pull the motor, the diesel clatter is quite audible, and around the top end, it does make quite a lot of noise. This motor is free revving, it redlines all the way till almost 5000 rpm. This engine does feel slightly more refined than before, but yes, performance is where it really shines. In fact, you will be doing 140 km per hour in a jiffy where the speed warning comes in, and this car can actually do over 150 km per hour. The Scorpio now gets a 6-speed gearbox. It is a slick shifting unit, but the throws are a little on the longer side. The clutch is light, but the problem here is that getting into reverse is quite a task. While overall NVH from the motor is quite decent, there's a lot of wind noise which creeps in from the A-pillar once you hit the tongue. Mahindra hasn't made many changes to the underpinnings of the Scorpio. It remains more or less the same. Yes, they have tweaked the suspension. The springs have been altered so that it can take the additional weight and more power from this engine. Ride quality remains the same as before. It's decent, but yes, it is on the stiffer side, and at the rear it is bad. However, the stiffness has its advantage. The handling of this car is decent. It remains quite planted. Yes, there's a lot of body roll, but in terms of high-speed stability, it's decent till 120 km per hour, after which, of course, the wind noise and the lack of remaining straight in line thanks to the steering, which doesn't offer much feel or feedback, does bother you. With the additional power, Mahindra had to give this better brakes, so the brake booster size has been increased and stopping power is quite decent. And the other problem is that the steering doesn't have much feel or feedback. It seems to have a mind of its own and doesn't really inspire confidence for you to drive hard and fast. Of course, this being an SUV doesn't really need to be driven fast, but when Mahindra has given it additional power, I'm sure people would like to use it. In terms of efficiency, the Scorpio does have a big fuel tank capacity and should return around 10 to 12 km per litre. It also gets micro hybrid technology, which starts and stops the engine when you come to a halt. All you need to do is press the clutch and the engine comes back to life immediately. The Mahindra Scorpio is now available with 3 engines. The base variants get the M2 Dicor engine. The mid variants continue with the same engines which was available in the previous Scorpio, that is the 2.2 litre diesel, which produces 120 horsepower and 280 Newton meters of torque. Meanwhile, this new powerful engine is available in 2 variants, which is S7 and S11. The additional power does make the Scorpio more fun to drive, but there aren't many other changes, which is a bit disappointing considering this car has a lot of room for improvement. Mahindra has also hiked the prices of this vehicle, which robs away the value for money quotient the Scorpio is usually known for. That said, if you are a Scorpio fan and if you want a fast and fun SUV without having to think much about practicality and quality, then the Scorpio is the one to buy. Thank you so much guys for watching this video. If you liked it, do hit the thumbs up button and also subscribe to the MotorBeam channel.